Hey there, in this video I want to try to make this mint plant in VR possibly. So what I'm going to do is I took some photos of some mint in our yard, and I've got these leaves. I'm going to create some cutouts of these in Photoshop, and then I'm going to bring them into VR and kind of see if I can recreate this plant here. So first things first, I've got 4 photos. One's an overall, and then some other little leaf detail shots. So we'll take those leaf detail shots into Photoshop. Alright, so we've got this. What I want to do is create cutouts of these with everything outside the leaf being like a void of space. So first things first, I'm going to take this and actually crop it down a little bit. This just so I can focus on this part of the plant itself, and then I'm just going to start cutting out. I'm going to try to use this magnetic tool here. We'll just go through and get as close as we can. If we end up missing some stuff, we'll go back and add it after. Looks like there's some go and detail this a little bit better than this. Just gonna do a quick outline here. Oh, good mouth. Alright, so now we've got that. I'm gonna go in and clean up some of these edges here. Just do like a lasso and do an alt to remove some stuff. And shift to add. Alright, so we have our leaf here. I'm going to do Control Shift I to inverse the selection. I'm going to double click on background to make it a layer 0, and I'll just delete out all of that. So now I've got my leaf here. When I pull this out, it's actually gonna, when I pull this leaf out into VR, which I'll show you later, it's gonna pull it out in the reverse direction of how I want this to be. So if this is the top, which I would normally pull out a leaf from the stem, you can see this is gonna be reversed. So I need to actually rotate this 180 degrees. So we'll do image rotate 180. So now when I pull it out, it's gonna pull out like that. So, and I will also crop this down just till it like maybe a little bit past where it touches, kind of like that. And like that. All right, so we'll do image crop. Okay, so we got our first leaf, so we'll call this save as, and we'll put it in, call it leaf 1, I'll call it mint leaf, and as a PNG, so we get that background. Alright, so now we'll move on to leaf 2 and 3 here. Alright, so we've got all 3 of our leaves here. Main kind of inspirational image here. So what we want to do is we want to open up open documents in a new window and find GravitySketch and go to reference images. I'm just going to create a new folder called mint. Take all 3 of these leaves in the main inspiration image and drop those into this reference images folder here. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm going to open up GravitySketch and let me close this. see what we can do. Okay, so here we are in GravitySketch, and I'm going to open up a new sketch here. So we have our layers over here. I'm probably going to bump the mic a couple times, but all right, let's go to reference images. We'll scroll over to cement folder. So I've got these images. I'm going to pull these in. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 in our main. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go to save. I'm going to call this mint. Oops. I'm just going to raise this mic a bit. Hopefully the sound doesn't get too messed up. All right. And I'm going to save this locally. Okay. So now we have that. I'm going to take this image and I'm going to make it a lot larger so that I can kind of see that as a reference there. And then we've got this place here. So any of these images here can be added to a surface. I think it's a surface or a stroke. So let's say I do a ribbon stroke here, and I'm going to increase the size of this. I'm just going to pull out like that. So let's take this and let's change that to a leaf. Okay, so you see how that now is like a leaf, and I can take these and I'm just going to actually change the way this is working to where it's kind of like this mixed input mode. Low scale, maybe low poly. We'll see how this ends up looking. So let's do like another one here. Go out and kind of make it curve like that. You can see as you add these points, it actually is kind of changing. It's changing like the image itself. So I can come in and actually, whoops. So this image is on this like surface here. There's some different like surface things. This is what I would want it to appear correctly on, but you can see it like it's all whacked out. So I'm gonna undo. Can't undo that. So once I do that, I gotta delete it and redo it. So the only thing that this works on is the actual stroke, ribbon stroke. It'll also, I'm gonna change it back to this one, so I have a little bit more control. So if you see this, you can see it's like it allows me to create the leaf with just a little bit more control to it. Alright, so now also what we need to do is create this kind of winding stalk thing. So I'm going to go to my stroke. I'm going to use this circular one, and I'm going to use the point mode. And I'm actually going to just pick kind of a greenish color that looks like it's about in the color range of this. We can change this later in Blender. Okay, so I'm just looking at the, just looking at the size of the stalk versus the leaves. You can see it's kind of about like, maybe like that. So I'm gonna come in a little below ground, and this thing's kind of windy, so I'm gonna do like a couple strokes like that, and then I can go in and tweak how much it curves here. You can click and add a point. So maybe I want to do something like this where at the end it curves up quite a bit. Go straight. Okay, so that's our mint leaf here. So these, this is the first leaf, I believe. So I'm going to go in, put it back on a ribbon. I'm going to choose the material. I'm going to choose this one. Create a leaf down. You can see the leaves kind of alternate. They go left, right, and then forward. And they kind of alternate around, trying to maximize how much sun. And they're bigger at the bottom than they are at the top. So I can take, it's kind of like 2 points is really what we need. I don't really like those. So I'm gonna come in. So let's do a different leaf now. I'll change this to maybe this one here. Make these smaller. See, I put these in the same plane, so I'm just going to take them and rotate them around like this. Move this one up a bit. Actually, these are too wide up here. So I'm going to take these and just kind of move them back in. You can even delete this and copy it over. That side if you want. I'm going to reduce the size of this and do some small ones here. Like that. And probably make these a little bit more narrow. Okay, so one thing that we didn't do is this stalk didn't really narrow up as it got to the top, so I'm going to go in and grab some of these points and just pull them down a bit. a little more realistic. Now I just need to take all these and kind of adjust where they're hitting. Maybe change some of the size of the proportions of these. Go ahead and save this. You can see that they're not really like. Make sure the leaf is kind of arcing up and then down. These are way too thick. So that's starting to look like our plant here. You can see some of these have a little bit more twist to them. And some of that we can do after the fact in Blender. But let's add a little bit of twist to just a couple of these. Like maybe they're trying to go after some sun. Alright, so I'm going to come in and add the little connection to these. I go to the stroke tool. Put it back on this circle, and I may go use this guy and see how this shape is a little bit like an oval kind of shape. So I'm going to come in up underneath the leaf and just tie it in like that. Material was wrong, and we'll fix that. So at the top here, I'm going to come in and add another point. I'm just going to drop this. And then I just want to add some small leaves coming off of this. So I'm going to go back to my actual save first. Go back to my stroke. Small ones, so we'll make some small leaves. So that looks pretty good for like a little mint plant here. So we'll do File, Save, and trying to see if there's, sometimes the leaves have like another little smaller leaf that'll come off of it. So I'm going to take just like 1 or 2 of these and just reduce it. Just kind of do like that, because it sometimes has like a that comes off of it. Not all the time, just occasionally. Okay. So I think that's good. Gives a little depth to it. Alright, so we'll do a save of this mint plant. And then we'll go to export this out. We go to export, and all this stuff is fine. OBJ, and we'll make sure to save it local. Export mint. All right, so that brought it up. That'll be a little zip file. So we'll quit this app here. And hopefully, moving the mic and all that kind of stuff was not too much. Pull up, see if we're still recording. We're still recording. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to take, I'm going to put this back into my downloads folder. Just going to drag this in here. We don't need that. We'll extract this to its own folder. Okay, so you see how it groups in the leaves and the material, the other image that we had in there. And I'll probably like I may actually take this image and grab the color from this in Photoshop. So we'll drag this into Photoshop. And if we just zoom in here, see, there's our stalk, so I'm going to grab, let's see what color this is here. So we get that, and I'm just going to fill it with this whole foreground color. I'm actually going to make this square, so I'm going to do ratio 1:1. Just gonna make it a square image. Crop it. Okay, so we have that. So we have a stalk. Got this. Just going to open up Blender now, and we will do File, Import, OBJ. We'll go to our downloads, Mint. Find this OBJ we got here. Do an import, and you can see it brings in that little sample image up there, all our 3 little images we had sitting off to the side. So what we want to do is tab into this and just select this stuff out here. We'll do XV to delete those. Okay, so now we've got this. I'm going to turn on material, and you can see we've got our leaves on the stick. So we'll go to shading and go to our leaf here. Leaf 1, and we will make this blend mode alpha hashed. Leaf 2, blend mode alpha hashed. washed. And I'm going to take the alpha and put it in the alpha. So now we're getting transparency here. And we'll do leaf 2 the same way. There we go. Put the alpha into the alpha. And leaf 1. Alpha and alpha. Okay, so now we got that going. We want to go to the stalk itself. So is that this? Let's see. Yes. Okay, so this we want to make like a green. But we want to bring in that image that I made, the stalk image. So we'll just drag that in like that and put that as the base layer. Specular, little subsurface color. Get a little subsurface color going on, like that. So we've got starting to get something that looks like a little mint plant here. So let's look at, I'm just going to rename this mint stalk. And I'm going to take this extra stuff out. And we don't need this one here, so I'm going to delete that guy. And I'm actually going to delete these things. And we'll go to orphan data. See all this little extra stuff? I'm going to purge that out until it's all clean. Just as brushes. Alright, so we've got kind of like a clean file here. Is there anything we want to tweak on this? Like, so if you go into these, you can see that we've got individual meshes. You could take some of these and turn on this proportional editing, do like a G. We'll turn down this proportional size here until we see it. There we go. Now if we want to do like Z, we can like make this leaf have a little bit more of a twist to it. You can go in and add all kinds of little variations to this. If you want to give these a little bit more character. Alright, so there we go. We got our little plant here. So we'll go to layout. I just want to make sure that this is appropriately scaled. So first thing I'm going to do is object apply all transforms, just for a good measure. And we'll go ahead and save this, and we'll save it as, we'll put it in this mint folder. Mint plant, do save. And then if I go to 1, which is view 1, measure this thing, see how tall it is. So it's 0.5 meter, which is pretty tall. I kind of want it to be about 1 foot, which will be like right here in this zone. Okay, so we'll delete that. Take this and just do S, and just scale the whole thing down proportionally to about a foot tall. And then we'll just look at it real quick and make sure we still like the way it looks. We'll do object apply all transforms, and let's just take this thing and do some copying of it to see what it looks like when we kind of copy it around. Do Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, pretty cool. It's looking pretty good. Looks like and of course we wouldn't want these to all be the same size. So when you put them into Unreal, you'll do like a variation of sizes or whatever. And rotation probably, because you set them on a little axis so that they, rotate slightly. So they're more like, more like this. So they don't all look the same, basically. So I'm going to delete these. All right, so we got our original here. So let's take this original. We'll do File, Save, and I'm just going to do File, External Data, Pack All into .blend file. So you see down here at the bottom says packed 4 files. That's because we've got 3 leaf image files and a Stalk file. So I'm going to delete this render result. Stalk and leaves. Yeah. So you can take this now, and I'm going to try something I haven't done in a while, but I'm going to go to the Render tab, and I've got a plugin called Symbol Bake. So I'm going to diffuse, and we'll just say normal and roughness. And then we'll do like a 4K image. I'm going to take it's going to combine all these textures into one. I'm going to do export bakes, folder name. We'll just do a new UV, see what it gives us. 0.06. We'll do 4K. Copy. Let's just see what this looks like. Do save and bake PBR. So it looks like it's not doing anything, but it actually is. It's actually creating those files here. And you can see this Symbol Bake file it created. So it's got all these little leaf textures in here. You can see it's cut some of them and made them, but we'll see what it ends up looking like here. So it's got this and the roughness. So let's go back to View Layer, and we've got Mint Baked now. So Mint Baked, and you can see it's not showing up correctly. We'll go to this and change it to an alpha hashed. And still not doing it. We need I need to bake the alpha layer, I think. So we'll do delete. We'll go back to this. And when I go to here, we'll go to, we need alpha. So we'll do all this again. So I'll save. And let's do bake PBR maps. So this one should have an alpha. And there it is right there. Okay. So if we go back here, and you can already see that it shows up correctly with the alpha. And if we go to this, it's in the materials for this. It's all just one material, and looks pretty good. Pretty simple. Pretty simple little mint plant here. So I'm gonna delete the other one. Well, you know what? I'll just keep the other one for now. I'll do save. I'm gonna go to File, External Data, pack all into .blend file, and then I'll go to Orphan Data and just purge some stuff. And so I'm gonna take this file, do File, Save, and then I'm gonna export as an FBX file. And I'm going to put it right into this one. Mint plant, only selected, mesh, export FBX. So now we've got our FBX file right next to all of our material files here. So we'll save this, go to 3D settings, and we'll probably not have a material in this. Yep, so it's just blank here. So I'm going to go to materials, and you can see our baked material. So I'm going to drop our diffuse into base color. I'm going to put our roughness into there. I'm going to turn on the normal, although I don't think there's much data in this. I'm just going to drop it in anyway. And then we've got alpha mask. And we'll drop our alpha mask here, right there. And it's not showing up. Luminance. Okay. There we go. Let's turn on some shadows. Go to ground shadows. Do we want that, or we want this baked? That looks nice. And then, what do we want our view to be like? Let's see. More from above, like this, or more from the side? More from above, probably. Something like that. We'll do save view, and then we'll rotate this to be good lighting. Let's do something like that, where it's pretty much behind. All the shadows are behind us here. We'll change this from industrial room to something outside. Maybe that one. It's pretty nice. Turn the brightness down a bit. Shadow bias. Alright, and we'll do some effects here. See how you get a little bit more depth when you turn that on. That little leaf right here. You watch that, and you get a little shadowing below it. Grain, we'll turn that on. I like to turn grain on, and I like sharpness on. You can see sharpness adds quite a bit. If we look at this, and look at this, it just looks better to me. And we'll do a little vignette. It looks pretty good. What else do we need to do? I don't really need any of that. Cool. And we'll do save settings. And we'll exit out of this bad boy. And we can go to here and do view model. And then let's put in our little, let's see, is it question mark? Auto spin equals 0.3. There we go. Let's take a look at this. Cool. Looks good to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it may have been quite long, but this is how you make a mint plant. It takes a little time, right? If we want good herbs. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.